up beside the gentleman, Dave. If I can get there.
Repeat after me. George, sit down and behave yourself.
I am doing my
Sit
best.
down and behave yourself.
Back, George.
David,
Okay,
stop
repeat,
pestering me.
George. Shh.
Thanks.
Repeat after me.
Repeat
Vogel, George. Shh. Vogel Twillingate. Morton's Harbor.
Newfoundland.
Okay, one more time. Fogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor. Your turn. Fogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor. Well, eyes by the bills of boat, and eyes by the sails, her eyes by the catches of fish. Takes them home to Liza. Hit your partner Sally to Poe. Hit your partner Sally Brown. Fogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. You're supposed to join in on chorus. Okay, I'll slow it down, all right? Hip your partner Sally to Bow. Hip your partner Sally Brown. Vogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. I ran out of breath. Okay, so that's all the help you're going to get. Jump in when you're able, when you feel able. Sods and rice to cover your flake, cake and tea for supper, codfish in the spring of the year, fried in maggoty butter. Hip your partner Sally to Bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Vogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Think about fish and think about maggots. I don't want your maggoty fish, that's no good for winter. I can buy as good as that down in Bonavista. Vista. Hip your partner Sally to Bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Vogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. I took Liza to a dance, faith that she could travel. Every step that she did take was up to her arse and gravel. Hip your partner Sally to Bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Vogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. Susan White, she's out of sight, her petticoat wants a border. On Sam Oliver in the dark, he kissed her in the corner. Hip your partner Sally to Bow, hip your partner Sally Brown. Vogel, Twillingate, Morton's Harbor, all around the circle. That's that. I'm going to try not to talk too much, but I've got so many stories. Lynn asked me if I'd ever been to, where did you ask me if I've been to Newfoundland?
Yeah.
I spent more time in the Maritimes than anywhere else except for Ontario. Gail and I would spend part of every summer in the bush in New Brunswick. My son and I, Chris, trekked in the northern tip of Labrador for 2 weeks. That's the northern tip of Labrador for 2 weeks. Gail and I kayaked down the Atlantic coast of Newfoundland for 10 days, 12 days with a group of other 10 people or so. And I'm wearing my Newfoundland Labrador 23rd Annual Folk Festival t-shirt because I was there and I still have the shirt. What was I going to say? Oh, Eyes the By. I sang this song with a group from the Theatre Guild, Peterborough Theatre Guild, just on the other side of the river, in Japan. We were there for a international theater festival hosted by the Japanese. And after the theater festival was over, they had this superb banquet in this glamorous hotel on the slopes of Mount Fuji. And every group had to perform for the others. I mean, we had done our play, we did a play written by Dave Carley, a local playwright, born and raised here. So as something special, we had to provide the entertainment for the banquet. Every group had to perform. And the Germans and the Czechs, they all had songbooks. They carried songbooks with them, so we were on the bus and they were singing out of the songbooks, and we were kind of in the shadows. So we decided we were going to sing "High as the Bough that Builds the Boat," and we created a dance to go with it, which we won't demonstrate for you now. We're going to keep moving, okay? Okay. There's lots of fish in one of his harbor, lots of fish right in around here. Boys and girls are fishing together, 45 from Carbonear. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-la this one, dee-da-la dee. This is a little bit of a romance. Sally is the pride of Cat Harbor, ain't been swum since way last year, when she met that feller from Fortune, what was down here fishing last year. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-lum this one, dee-da-lum dee. Sally goes to church every Sunday, not for to sing or for to hear, but to see the feller from Fortune, what was down here fishing last year. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-lum this one, dee-da-lum dee. Sally's got a bouncy new baby. Father says that he doesn't care, 'cause he likes the feller from Fortune, what was down here fishing last year. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-la this one, dee-da-la dee. Uncle George got up in the morning, he got up in a hell of a tear, tore the arse right out of his breeches, now he's got no pair to wear. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-la this one, dee-da-la dee. There's lots of fish in Boniface Harbor, lots of fish right in around here. Swing your partner, Jimmy Joe Jenkins, I'll be home in the spring of the year. Oh, catch a hold this one, catch a hold that one, swing around this one, swing around she, dance around this one, dance around that one, dee-da-la this one, dee-da-la dee. I don't know why I keep picking the songs that I run out of breath on. So, a couple of coal mining songs, because as you know, Cape Breton, the Maritimes, I mean, it's fish, coal, and what else? Lumber. Wood. Yeah, we'll do some of those. This is not a maritime song, but I've been singing this one for a long time. Come all you young fellas, so young and so fine, and seek not your fortune way down in the mine. It will form as a habit, seep in your soul, till the stream of your blood is as black as the coal. It's dark as a dungeon, damp as the dew, where the dangers are double and the treasures are few, where the rain never falls, the sun never shines. Oh, it's dark as a dungeon, way down in the mine. There's many a man I've known in my day who lived just to labor his whole life away, like a fiend with his dough and a drunkard his wine. A man must have lust for the lure of the mind, where it's dark as a dungeon and damp as a dew, where the dangers are double and the treasures are few, where the rain never falls, the sun never shines. Oh, it's dark as a dungeon way down in the mine. I pray when I die, the ages shall roll, my body will blacken and turn into coal. Then I'll look from the door of my heavenly home and pity the miner a-digging my bones, where it's dark as a dungeon, damp as a dew, where the dangers are double and the treasures are few, where the rain never falls and the sun never shines. It's dark as a dungeon way down in the mine. That was Merle Travis. Anybody know Anne Murray's hometown?
Springbrook? No.
Very famous.
Spring Hill.
Yes. Well done, David. Did you hear what David said?
No.
Spring Hill.
Yes.
This is a song by Pete Seeger's. Who's what? This is a song by Pete Seeger's sister. For those of you who know folk music, a little bit about folk music, this is Peggy Seeger, and Ewan McCall, her husband, wrote this song about Anne Murray's hometown and a very famous mining incident. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, down in the dark of a Cumberland mine, there's blood on the coal and the miners lie in the roads that never saw sun nor sky, roads that never saw sun nor sky. In the town of Spring Hill, you don't sleep easy. Often the earth will tremble and roll. When the earth is restless, miners die. Bone and blood is the price of coal. Bone and blood is the price of coal. In the town of Spring Hill, Nova Scotia, late in the year of 58, day still comes and the sun still shines, but it's dark as a grave in the Cumberland mine, dark as a grave in the Cumberland mine. Down at the coalface, miners working, rattle of the belt and the cutter's blade, rumble of the rock and the walls close round. The living and the dead men 2 miles down, living and the dead men 2 miles down. 12 men lay 2 miles from the pit shaft, 12 men lay in the dark and sang long hot days in the miner's tomb. It was 3 feet high and 100 long, 3 feet high and 100 long. 3 days passed and the lamps gave out. Baylor rushed and up and said, There's no more water, nor light, nor bread. So we'll live on songs and hope instead. Live on songs and hope instead. Listen for the shouts of the bare-faced miner. Listen through the rubble for a rescue team. 600 feet of coal and slag. Hope imprisoned in a 3-foot seam. Hope imprisoned in a 3-foot seam. 8 days passed and some were rescued, leaving the dead to lie alone. Through all their lives they dug a grave. 2 miles of earth for a marking stone. 2 miles of earth for a marking stone. I think it's been a few years since I've sung that song. This is a song that's probably pretty familiar to some of you, and please sing along wherever the mood hits you. This is kind of an kind of a Canadian classic. And I think I'll have a little sip of water. This was written by Alistair McGillivray. McGillivray. And he was the first man to cross by bridge into Prince Edward Island. So there you go, little bit of trivia. Old men go fishing with black line and spoon, and if they catch nothing, they never complain. I wish I was with them again. As boys in the boats call to girls on the shore, teasing the ones that they dearly adore. And into the evening the courting begins. I wish I was with them again. Can you imagine a piece of the universe more fit for princes and kings? I'll trade you 10 of your cities for Marion Bridge and the pleasure it brings. Up on the Myra, on soft summer nights, bonfires blaze to the children's delight. They dance round the flames, singing songs with their friends. I wish I was with them again. And over the ashes, the stories are told of witches and werewolves and Oak Island gold. Stars on the river, they sparkle and spin. I wish I was with them again. Can you imagine a piece of the universe more fit for princes and kings? I'll trade you 10 of your cities for Marion Bridge and the pleasure it brings. Up on the Myra, the people are kind. They treat you to homebrew and help you unwind. And if you come broken, they'll see that you mend. I wish I was with them again. Now I'll conclude with a wish you go well. Sweet be your dreams and your happiness swell. I'll leave you here journey begins. I'm going to be with them again. I'm going to be with them again. Okay, okay. Stan Rogers. Is that name familiar to one of our great songwriters? I just skipped a song by Stan Rogers because I'm going to run out of time and it's a long one. But I'm going to do a couple of Stan Rogers songs. Okay. We just lost sight of the Queensport light, round the bay behind us, and the wind has blown some cold today with just a wee touch of snow. And I think I'll put a cape on because it's going to get a little low for me. This is a capo, by the way. It allows me to sing a little higher without changing my fingering. We just lost sight of the Queensport light, round the bay behind us, and the wind has blown some cold today with just a wee touch of snow. Along the shore from Lazy Head, hard abeam Half Island, tonight we let the anchor go down in Fogarty's Cove. She'll walk the sandy shore so plain, watch the combers rolling, till I come to Wild Rose Chance again down in Fogarty's Cove. My staff is like a raven's wing, her hair is like her mother's, with hands. This is a busy line. With hands that make quick work of a chore and eyes like the top of a stove. Okay, let's talk about that line. She has eyes like the top of a stove. So you think of the top of the stove and the big black elements on the old stove. So that's, I'll start that verse again because it's an interesting image. My Sal is like a raven's wing, her hair is like her mother's, with hands that make quick work of a chore and eyes like the top of a stove. Come supper time, she'll walk the beach, wrapped in my old duffel, with her eyes upon the masthead beach down in Fogarty's Cove. She'll walk the sandy shore so plain, watch the combers rolling, till I come to Wild Rose Chance again down in Fogarty's Cove. She will walk the sandy shore so plain, watch the combers rolling, till I come to Wild Rose Chance again down in Fogarty's Cove. She cries when I'm away to sea, nags me when I'm with her. She'd rather I'd a government job or maybe go on the dole. But I love her wave as I put about, nose into the channel. My Sally keeps a supper and a bed for me down in Fogarty's Cove. She will walk the sandy shore so plain, watch the combers rolling, till I come to Wild Rose Chance again down in Fogarty's Cove. She will walk the sandy shore so plain, watch the combers rolling, till I come to Wild Rose Chance again down in Fogarty's Cove. My Sally keeps a supper and a bed for me. Okay. Lumbering. This is one of my, well, got a lot of favorite songs. For he goes burling down, down the white water.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Loved Irish Waltz.
Yeah. If you ask any girl from the parish around what pleases her most from her head to her toes, she'll say, I'm not sure if it's business of yours, but I do love to waltz with the log driver. For he goes burling down and down in the white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly, burling down, down to go down and watch all the lads as they work on the river. When evening comes round, they'll all be in town, and they all want to waltz with their log driver, for he goes burling down, down the white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly, burling down, down the white water. Log drivers waltz pleases girls completely. To please both her parents, she had to give way and dance with the doctors and lawyers and teachers. Their manners are fine, but their feet are like clay. They're none with the style of her log driver, for he goes burling down, down the white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly, burling down, down the white water. Log drivers waltz pleases girls completely. Now she's had her chances with all kinds of men, but none with the style of her man on the river. So if he comes by and he asks her again, she thinks that she'll marry her log driver, for he goes burling down, down the white water. That's where the log driver learns to step lightly, burling down, down the white water. Log drivers waltz pleases girls completely.
Used to be a vignette of that on television.
What?
Used to be a vignette of that on television.
Oh, the National Film Board has an
Yeah,
excellent
with Kate Dana, Gary
cartoon.
Oldman.
Yeah.
Seeing it.
I cheated. That's really written by a guy from Ontario. The guy who wrote the Black Fly song, Wade Hemsworth. Okay. This is a major challenge. I just want to give you a heads up. Probably, anyway, some of you know Stan Rogers, so what do you think his most famous song or most familiar song is? I'll need to fortify myself. It's very biblical. It's about death and resurrection. Does that help you, anybody? It's about death and resurrection. The death and resurrection, it's a maritime song, a ship. Stan Rogers, by the way, was born in Hamilton, but he, like me, spent a lot of his summers in the Maritimes, which is the influence on his music. Here we go. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking and the mate, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock and she was dealt her mortal blow, and the Mary Ellen caught her settled low. There was just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down, it caused us to proclaim that the Mary Ellen Carter would rise again, rise again, rise again, that her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would they spend. She gave 20 years of service, boys, and met her sorry end. But insurance paid the cost to us, so let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we had to go. But we talked to her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 afloating at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again, that her name not be lost to the dawn. spring now we've been with her, on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in a hard hat suit, and twice I've had the bend. Thank God it's only 60 feet, and the currents here are slow, or I'd never have the strength to go below. But we've patched her rents, stopped her vents, dog hatch and porthole down, put cables to her fore and aft, and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air, and then take up the strain, and make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gale. And the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing in another day. And you to whom adversity has dealt its final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain, and like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again, rise again, rise again. Though your heart it be broken and life about to end, no matter what you've lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Woo! That was a workout. I gotta do this one. I gotta do this one and one more. Although my time is up. I mean, my time is up when I say it's up, right? I'm sure some of you, of the more sophisticated members of the audience, have been to a soiree. Well, if you've, in Newfoundland, it's a soiree. Make no mistake. And this soiree, a very famous one, was held at Betsy Snook's house. And we had to get all dressed up in our very best outfits. I've sung this, some of you may have heard this before. Anyway, Betsy Snook's house, everybody's singing and dancing and all kinds of food and drink. And a wonderful shindig at Betsy Snook's house called the Kelligrews Soiree. You may talk of Clare and Nolan's Ball or anything you choose, but it couldn't hold a snuff box to the spree at Kelligrews. It proves if you want your eyeball straight and then come out next week with me, you'll have to wear your glasses at the Kelligrews Soiree. There was birch, rind, tar, twine, cherry. Oh shoot. There was birch, rind, tar, twine, cherry. Everyone in turpentine, John, avalanches, ginger beer and tea. Pigs speak, cats speak, dumplings boiled in a sheet. Oh shoot. Dandelions and cracked teeth at the Kelligrews Soiree. Okay, we have a chord missing there, and I don't know what it is. So anyway, we'll keep going. Because, okay, so in order to get to Betsy Snook's house, I had to go around, I had to get dressed, and I didn't have any of the right clothes, so I had to go around, visit my friends and borrow theirs. So the first thing I had to borrow was Clooney's beaver hat, which is the stovepipe hat. Then I had to go around by the swallowtail, which is a set of formal with the tail on, okay. Oh, I wore a Clooney's beaver as I squared my yards to sail, and a swallowtail from home, and that was Foxy on the tail. Billy had a hazel working pants and Patsy Nolan shoes, and an old white vest from Fogarty to sport the Kelligrews. There was Dan, Millie, Joe, Lily, Tan, and Mrs. Tilly, dancing like a little filly, 'twould raise your heart to see. Jim Ryan, Din Ryan, Flipper Smith and Caroline, I tell you boys, we had a time at the Calagrews soiree. Now, because I looked so funny, they all thought I was clergy. I'm not, I don't want to tease any clergy present. However, they let me right up to the front of the line. Oh, when I arrived at Betsy Snooks that night at 8:30, the place was blocked with carriages, stood waiting at the gate. With Clooney's funnel on my pate, the first thing Betsy said, here comes a local preacher with the pulpit on his head. There was Bill Muse, Dan Hughes, Wilson, Hampton, Teddy Roos, while Brian he sat in the blues, looking hard at me. Jim Fling, Tom King, and Johnson, champion of the ring, and all the boxers I could bring at the Calagrews soiree. Some of you may have noticed that I found the missing chord. So, and now comes the dancing. The first dance was the Saratoga Lancers. Don't ask me how to do that. The Saratoga Lancers first, Miss Betsy kindly said, sure I danced with Nancy Cronin and her granny on the head. Everybody knows what a head is in the Maritimes, right? The head.
No, tell it more.
It's the bathroom. That's where they were dancing. And Hogan danced with Betsy, oh, you should have seen his shoes my fingertips falling off. As he lashed a musket from the rock that night at Calagrews, there was more food. There was boiled guineas, cold guineas, bullocks' heads, and pickaninnies. Everything to catch the pennies would break your sides to see. Boiled duff, cold duff, apple jam was in a cup. I tell you boys, we had enough at the Calagrews soiree. And like all good soirees, including this one, it ended with a terrible, wonderful brawl. Crooked Clavin struck the fiddler, and a hand I then took in. You should see George Clooney's beaver, and it flattened to the brim. And Hogan's coat was like a vest, the tails were gone, you see. Hosses high, the devil haul ye, and your Calagrews soiree. There was birch, twine, tar, twine, cherry wine, and turpentine, jowls, cavalances, ginger beer and tea. Pig's feet, cat's feet, dumplings boiled in a sheet, dandelions and cracked teeth at the Calagrews soiree. Okay. Oh shoot, there are two more we have to do. Sorry, we have to. Gail's dad fought in the Battle of the Atlantic. And have any of you seen the new Tom Cruise movie called, it's really about the Battle of the Atlantic. And Gail's dad's job was on a Corvette.
Yeah.
And his job was to escort, I think generally from Halifax to as far as their fuel and resources would allow them to escort the supply ships, merchantmen basically, troop ships, supplies, armaments, etc. And then they had to turn around when they ran out of fuel, when they ran out of gas. They had to turn around and come back. And then the merchantmen were on their own for 5 days in the middle of the Atlantic, which is when they were vulnerable to attack by the wolf packs. And you all know that the wolf packs are packs of German submarines. So there was that 5-day gap. And the movie really is a powerful statement. But when I sing this song, this is kind of what I think of, because it's an up-tempo song, but it's got a very powerful memorial message to it. And you all know it, and you can all sing it, at least the chorus. The sun was setting in the west, the birds were singing on every tree. All nature seemed inclined for to rest, but still there was no rest for me. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? I grieve to leave my native land, I grieve to leave my comrades all, and my parents whom I held so dear, and the bonny, bonny lassie that I do adore. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I'm far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? Well, the drums they do beat and the wars do along, my captain calls, I must obey. So farewell, farewell to Nova Scotia's charms, for it's early in the morning and I'm far, far away. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? I have 3 brothers and they are at rest, their arms are folded on their breast. But a poor simple sailor just like me must be tossed and driven on the dark blue sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, let your mountains dark and drear I be. For when I am far away on the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? Will you ever heave a sigh and a wish for me? One more song, but before I sing it, I want to direct you to yesterday's Peterborough Examiner, because there's a wonderful article by our friend Michael Peterson, who spends just about half a year in Nova Scotia. They live out there, and he writes about it, and he writes frequently about Nova Scotia in his bi-weekly column in the Examiner. So yesterday he wrote about an author who has written a couple of books, or something about the last, I think the title of the book is The Last Best Place on Earth, or something about how wonderful it is to be in the Maritimes. And he talks a little bit about his own and his wife's adventures in the East Coast. The picture, by the way, the picture on the poster that's by the elevators. It's one of our friends. When I talked about the kayak trip that we took down the Atlantic coast of Newfoundland, that was a photograph from that trip. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, and Michael Peterson's wife was on that kayak trip. Michael was not, he chickened out. So there you go. Final song is, particularly to our age group, should be extremely familiar. And I'll sing the first line and then you tell me, I think I've done this before, I think I've asked you the question. Smile Lover's Lane, my dearie. Okay. That's a familiar song to you?
Yeah.
Why? Why is it so familiar?
Good tune.
That's right. Because it was Don Messer's theme song. Smile a while, you kiss me, sad adieu, when the clouds. Okay, I'm going to feed you the lines and you sing. Okay, smile a while, you kiss me, sad adieu. Big finish here, folks. Smile a while, you kiss me, sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will be more blue. Then the skies will be more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie. Wedding bells will ring so merrily. Wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every kiss will be a memory. Every kiss will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me. So wait and pray each night for me. Till we meet again. That's a nice way to end the show, too. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Bravo.
You guys keep turning up. I don't know why, but if you're going to turn up, I'll keep turning up too. So next week, I think I said we were going to do Irish, and then the week after that, maybe French Canada.
French?
Now it will be very bilingual, so I won't talk French. I'll talk English. I'll speak in English, and I'll explain the songs in English. But we'll sing the songs, or I'll sing the song. I mean, that's pretty familiar. So that's 2 weeks. Anyway, thanks for coming.
Very good.
My pleasure, and I need the workout.
This work. Yeah. The library at one time had a lot of 16mm films. A lot were NFB with Bill Macy, and then
I'll follow you.
Sumner Waltz. And when they closed the audiovisual section, they turned them over to the museum, to the Peterson Museum. So hopefully they're